All of peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. This is Sister Raheemah Raheem. And I'd like to open up in prayer. I'm going to do an Egyptian Nubian prayer, ancient prayer. Sacred Spirit, keep us near, close to your bosom. Protect us from all harm and fear beneath the stones of life. Direct our feet on the right path as we journey through this vision. Sacred Spirit, surround us with your absolute perfect light. Anoint us with your purity, your peace, your divine insight. Bless us, truly bless us as we share the sacred life. Teach us, Sacred Spirit, to be in tune with the universe, how to heal with the inner and outer elements of air, fire, water, and earth, and teach us how to heal with love. I would like to recite the seven spirits. Prayerful, I can remember them. The Spirit of the Lord, Spirit of wisdom, Spirit of standing, Spirit of might or power, Spirit of guidance, and Spirit of the fear of God. I'm sorry, I missed one. I am hoping that I'm hoping that everyone is able to get on. And what I would like to start with is my understanding of our biggest project, which is scheduled for next year. One of the things that we were supposed to do this year was, a couple of weeks ago, we were supposed to have a report on the Trail of Tears 2, and which is scheduled for next year, God willing, next May. And so I'm hoping that we will be able to get those of you who are listening to participate in that project. This week, I had the pleasure of being on the call on Dr. Little's graduates gift call, and that was very interesting. She had a guest, and I couldn't, it was, I was, couldn't get his name, but he was basically giving some very important information. There were quite a few young people at the graduate gift, and he was giving some important information um, about the importance of being aware of AI. As long it's a hot item right now, and Of course, there's something greater than AI, but for right now, everyone's concentrating on AI. And the thing I liked about this the brother who was giving the information, and I imagine Dr. Little can just blurt his name out for me, um, is that he gave the history, and it gave me a chance for the first time in my life to really, really understand the, the mantra: if you don't know where you came from, you won't know where you're going. And so, because I have been a person who's been reluctant to even deal with AI, because I'm so used to having had students around me who would do whatever I needed done while I go off, I do something else. Uh, I have just been trying to avoid it. But he kind of went through the whole 9 yards, from the CD to the on up to the on up to the flash drive, and with that, we were able to really understand how technology has evolved, and all these stages that he talked about, that now people, he was asking, like, who has a box in their house, or who has a I can't remember some of the terms right now because I'm not looking at my notes, but I remember people in my family having it, but like I said, I have always had in my volunteering and in my little schools that I worked with, I always had students to college students to do that part of the work, and so I just never really had to have it. But now I see that it's extremely important to me that it become a part of my life, thanks to listening to the graduate's gift yesterday. And I would like if Dr. Little would talk a little bit about the graduate's gift and her the guest speaker that she had, uh, and so we can get we can share that information on this line as well.
Okay, I'll share the guy that I will be collaborating with. His name is Mr. Ed Peterson. What he
Okay.
does is he focuses on the digital space. He's a graphic artist, web designer,
Mhm.
and he's passionate about history and integrating AI into the work that he's doing now. We're going to be collaborating, working on a project which is called Stage One in Action, where our primary focus will be engaging young entrepreneurs and developing leadership with these young aspiring entrepreneurs. So we will be collaborating and doing this consistently weekly, and then showcasing the students' work in October. October 2nd through the 5th is when Stage One in Action will have their convention. My niece, the one who you had an opportunity to meet,
Right.
is one of the ambassadors. They will be working with her on the junior deputy, where we will um, engage other youth who are interested in becoming junior deputies and leaders. We will be working with them as well. So, with this and Mr. Peterson, I will now be working weekly with him. And so I will also be encouraging him to join Black Wall Street, being that we're going to be working so close together and we are aligned spiritually as well as mentally with developing entrepreneurs. So that is Mr. Ed Peterson with Global Touch Enterprise. I've actually known Mr. Peterson, done business with him over 20 years. We've done several network marketing businesses. He helped me do a couple book release events. So He's real good and credible and passionate about the work that he does.
Okay, thank you so much. And I think that workshop is something that we can share. And I hope that when we do our, I don't think our plans for 2026 is going to change very much from what it was this time, because most of the virtuals we didn't get any of those done. I think we had three planned. We didn't get any of those done. And one of them we didn't get done was the graduate's gift. So I hope that, that's something we'll be able to, because this year we'll be able to put it into I mean, Dr. Little was at it for about a month, trying to get this into the school, but the local school had already, and McLean already had a full schedule for the graduates, and I looked at the board, and there was no way, we could fill it in. But next year, we will collaborate with one of the schools, the technical schools, that they have not. It seems like there's some kind of a tie-up, or that there's some kind of a bottleneck when it comes to getting those students into that school, and so we'll be able to really work on that and have more time to get the graduates gift really going. Going, God willing, have it ready for the graduates next year. If we don't do something even before then. So thank you very much for that, Dr. Little. Were you able to get Mr. Hagler?
Yes, he's on.
Okay, great. Okay, so we're going to go next to another one of, I guess we want everyone to share the information that they have, and what they're working on, where they're located, what their plans are, as far as as far as working with, what their plans are, business wise, and as far community wise, and as far as their plans with Black Wall Street USA. So now I'm going to go to Mr. Scott. Mr. Scott, would you share with us, please?
Yes, good evening, everyone. My name is Antoine Scott. I represent the Mrs. Renee Association Foundation, and also I was seated as the regional vice director for the Northeast region for Black Wall Street. Currently, we're working on developing a marketplace here in Turner Station that's located in Baltimore County. It's a historical Black community. In Dundalk. And we are considered to be in a food desert. And our organization just became 501c3, so we're working on applying for grants because we completed a federal funded technical assistance through the USDA and EPA, and we developed a community action plan, and we're working on a nutrition part to be able to develop a nutritional education program for the community, all ages. And we're going to use a commercial kitchen located at the Solace Point Multipurpose Center, and to be able to start this phase of our action plan until our market gets created. Our website is www.mrafconnect.org. And we have in there our projects and a bunch of things that the services that we're offering as well. So that's what we have.
Very good. Okay. Well, thank you very much. And so so how is your deputy your deputy regional director position? What's going on with that? I know it's brand new. So what are you looking forward to? How can we help you? What glitches are you finding? What is your area that you're supposed to be working with?
Yes, I'm working with the Northeast region. So that's from Virginia, I think, all the way up to, I think it's Connecticut. I'm not for sure. I'll have to look. But
There's 13 states, right?
yes, ma'am. and
from south from.
Virginia,
Okay.
and then it goes up north. I will have to look to see exactly what those states are. But as of now, I'm just looking to see what the other regional directors are doing and trying to get acclimated with the platform and how things are being ran. But in
Right.
regards to what I see, I think business funding is critical. Also, the utilization of AI. That's something that I build our website with. I use that for applying for grants, and I do a lot of my writing with that.
Mhm.
So I think actually understanding the business side of the mission of what we're doing is really important, because a lot of times, we can get a business, but if you don't know how to get that business funded, then that's a real hard part. So the reason why that we started with the nonprofit was due to the fact of the need. So if your business is data driven and if it's serving and servicing a need, then you can get funding, for that.
Yeah. Sounds like, well, you don't have to tell me how important it is. 'Cause I'm sure though. We've been working on trying to get funding, and I'm all foot and toes with it. No hands in it yet. So thanks for sharing that. Okay, and so I'd like to say to anybody on the line who knows people in that region, because that's probably the most populated region next to the Southwest where we are. It's probably the most populated when it comes to people. East Coast is very has a high population, um, and so of our people, and so it might be, if anyone knows anybody in that area who is active, and that would be great, because it's an area that really needs to be pulled together. So you have a mammoth task on your hands, but I know you're not afraid of a challenge, so have fun. Okay, anyone else want to share? Is Mr. Hagler, are you on the line? Can you unmute yourself? Okay. Dr. Little, can you see him? See, Dr.
Uh,
Little, help me out, because
no, there are only three people on.
okay. Okay, and Mr. Hagler's not on, but you gave him the message, right?
The number that you gave me is who I sent it to. I sent it to them.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I probably have to call him to get him on. Uh, Mr. Hagler is like brand new. Dr. Little connected with him this week, and he's expecting me to work with him. So we talked about an hour last night, and the day before, we had a conversation. So right now he's between jobs, but his passion is architecture, and he's trying to get that. Um, he's trying to get that. He's because he's not working. He had an accident, I think, and because he's not working, he has some time on his hands. So he's really, and that it's always good to have somebody who has their own office, um, like Mr. Scott, or has has some time, retired, or has time to really get into this. So I really need to actually physically call him on the phone, because he may be like me, not really look at his not look at his phone like he should. Um, so Dr. Little, while I'm trying to call him, is there any suggestions or information that you could share with Mr. Scott about how he can go about his position now. As deputy, he's going to. It's almost like the CEO and the admin. The foot soldier is really the admin person a lots of times. And the the director for this area, Mr. Cotton, is also very new, and unlike Mr. Scott, he you have to kind of hold his hand, um, because he's focused on right now. He's focused on gardening with his wife, and so. But once he gets into something, he'll work it. But for right now, both of them are like green and need a lot of help. So I'm wondering, Dr. Little, is there anything you can share with or you might want
Well,
to question?
I'll just share what I did when I was admitted as the state director. First thing I did was identified who was already actively engaged in Black Wall Street. And so identified Dr. G as a key contact with being engaged in Black Wall Street and the movement. And I just started working closely with him because he was the state director first. And so from that, and I became the state director, and he moved up to the regional. But I needed structure. So for me, I created an agenda. I scheduled the meeting and I was like, okay, we'll do the meeting. If no one shows up, I would be consistent with scheduling the meeting and showing up until someone started showing up with me. And from that consistency is where we start building. And I get feedback from those who are showing up on what the agenda should look like and what should we cover while we're in that space. And one thing that we as business owners felt we needed to do was always work on our pitch so that we could be clear when we're talking and engaging people about our business concept and ideas. We're not all over the place. We're clear and concise with the elevator pitch. We start all our meetings with a welcome and a prayer, and we cover the um, spiritual principles that Black Wall Street has when we open our meetings as well. And we educate them on what the Black Wall Street movement is. We keep it simple with the movement and just identify the three core values of Black Wall Street movement and open it up for discussion. We do reflections. Also from we our Monday calls, we like to reflect on it and to add some of the principles that we're learning on that Monday call, implementing those principles, either from Dr. Carter or Mr. Daly, because those are where we come together weekly with the corporate, we call it the corporate or the main call, and then we just reflect on those activities as well. But if you need anything, feel free to reach out to me. I'm like an open book. If you want some strategies or anything, just feel free to call, text, email. I'll respond rather quickly. With that, do you have any questions or any concerns? And just realize that there's no one right way. The only thing is just do something. That way, someone will come and support you.
Understood. I appreciate that. I don't have any questions or concerns. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Do you have an idea of when you're going to start your first meeting?
Yeah, I'm gonna actually do something next week. I'm gonna set off a kickoff meeting and then I'll take it from there.
Okay. Well, share your kickoff so that we can come. Because, see, in Texas, we love to support everyone. So we will show up and support you.
Will do.
Okay. Are you a father?
Yes, ma'am. I have 5 kids.
Happy Father's Day.
Oh yeah.
Yes, thank you.
He really has about 25 because he helps his wife with a parade. They have a parade almost a community parade almost every year, and there are a lot of young people involved in that among the other things that he's doing. So he has about 25 or 30 children that he's working with. Yes. Okay. So please let me know if Mr. Hagler gets on. I left him a message, and he might be doing something else right now. Um, because I told him unfortunately the wrong time. Um, so what I wanted to do just for a few minutes, and we'll just end early. But what I wanted to do was take this time because the both of you I would consider seasoned. I really I think because the Trail of Tears is going to be so involved. I'd like to just we us set up a schedule, a planning, planning, uh, a planning, like a planning, not just a planning session, but something that we can, when we do have our first meeting, which will probably be sometime this summer, to that what the things that we need to do to make that happen, and then we can put that on the table, and the people who become a part of that group can can add to it or do whatever they do to make it happen. So as a reminder, we'll be moving. Dr. Ditterville is the regional director for the southeast area. And so where you stop, Mr. Scott, she picks up and goes all the way down to Florida. That are her states. Wait a minute, is she the regional director? Wait a minute, I gotta look at my paper. But anyway, she is in Florida, and they are anxious to be a part of this. So if the world stands, God wills, and the world stands, we will have that trip. And so, what are the areas that you think we should lay on the table that people can become a part of? Both of you are travelers, so I'm sure you would you could just come up with something that we will be able to put on the table, like the different areas that need to be we have to have people to engage in. I know one of them is going to be transportation, and I think I talked to both of you about this. Just like uh, coming here, I'm sure Mr. Scott and his wife will be interested in traveling and bringing some young people from Maryland to this trip. So his trip is going to be a little special because he's not in that area, but I think he could just I think they could just go straight across, like the midway between Tulsa and Baltimore is uh, Tennessee. And I'm not sure if Tennessee was one of the states that the Trail of Tears hit. They may have hit the tip of it or something like that. But with the black bus company that is in Baltimore and the black bus company that you connected with in Texas, um, Dr. Little, I think that that the bus company could probably from Maryland to Tennessee could go, and then the other bus company could pick up from Tennessee and go or either we might be able to find out from Mr. Daly or someone in Tennessee if there's a black bus company in Tennessee. And we could get the bus company in Tennessee to take the group the rest of the way. um, and connect with the trails, like in Arkansas, when you're getting really close to Oklahoma. And Arkansas is the east state, the state east of Oklahoma. So I know one of the areas would be transportation. Anything else? And the other one would be the green book, the red, black, and green book that we're going to be doing. And
Yeah,
that would be
I think
Mhm.
having a committee to clearly identify maybe historical landmarks in
Right.
as we do the traveling,
Okay.
and
Oh,
those would be key stops for the tour.
okay. So you just give me. So we already have four right there. Um, we have four areas that will need to be cleared. Uh, uh, the landmarks, we may not, historical landmarks in each of these states, some of them we will probably not hit, but because we're trying to hit the locations where people were picked up or will be picked up. So that whole uh I don't know what, I guess we would call it maybe the genealogy of the Trail of Tears one, like what towns were where were the towns where people were picked up, because they were not just native indigenous people were picked up, but blacks were also picked up. And of course, there was a lot of intermarriage and they were picked up. um, and so um, and so we'll need somebody to deal with the history of those towns, which I think Dr. Guyton has some information on that, and a couple of other people in the Florida area were talking about it. They also have some information on that. So, but it would be good also to know the landmarks as well. So that would be in addition to the red, black, and green book. So we will definitely need uh, an editor or a compiler for the red, black, and green book, which will be our guide. And everybody in Black Wall Street will have that guide, and they will know if they want to jump on the trail, what state they could jump in, like Maryland, what's a good state to jump in, rather than going all the way down to Florida to go when they first get started, to just shoot like somewhere in North Carolina or somewhere in Georgia or um, wherever, would be close and not too long a trip. Just how it could be. I mean, it would be easier just to come straight across um, when you're in the Maryland area, because I travel it a lot, and hopefully I'll be doing it again in a week or two. And just I know that Tennessee is like the midpoint, so that's another thing we would do. Can anything that you can add to this, either one of you?
I see the
Well,
route for the Green Book where they was coming from Baltimore to Tulsa. They took Baltimore, Maryland, and to Washington D.C., then Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, to Columbus, Ohio, to Indianapolis, Indiana, to St. Louis, Missouri, then to Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Wow. Wait a minute. They started in Florida, and they went all the way up to Maryland.
Yeah, I can find it from Florida. Let me see what the route was. I'm just using Chat GPT.
Oh,
Let me
I
see.
see you. Oh, you're just going through a route. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, I see. Okay. Because some of those, like Ohio, is like further north, and we're not trying to go that high up. But what you're looking at is probably a
And
route to go to Tulsa, right? A route to Tulsa.
right from Maryland, but I can
Hmm.
see what it is from Florida.
Right. Well, the original Trail of Tears, that's what we want. We want to get as close to that as we can. So that would mean that if you're coming from actually anybody coming from your area, like, Boston or New York or Newark, uh, it would be not cost effective to go all the way down to Florida. You know, it would be probably more effective to go the route you just said, and just connect with the Trail of Tears somewhere when you get close to Oklahoma. Like going to college, a lot of people get a degree from Harvard or Yale or whatever, but they do a 2-year school, first to make it easier. And so, and then with the degree will read Harvard or Yale or MIT or, wherever, Dartmouth or wherever. So Howard um, or any of those schools. So we want the original route. We'll need the original route for the Trail of Tears.
Right.
And
I have the original route. It says the Trail of Tears is stretched across 9 states.
mm-hmm,
From Florida to Oklahoma. So they traveled from Florida to Georgia, then Georgia to
mm-hmm,
Tennessee,
mm-hmm,
then Tennessee to Kentucky,
mm-hmm,
then Kentucky to Illinois,
mm,
then Illinois to Missouri,
mm,
then Missouri to Arkansas, and then
mm-hmm,
from Arkansas to Oklahoma.
mm-hmm. Okay, so evidently, yeah. So their trip wasn't like a straight shot. Then they were picking up. I forgot they were picking up indigenous people. So that's another reason why it took them so long. Does it tell you how long it took them? I know it was over a year, I think. Um, but yeah. So I mean, Illinois is well, there's a dipping point in Illinois too. But anyway, yeah. So we'll with the people who are in those states, we will connect with the Black Wall Street people in those states, so they can be alerted and redo that route. So I could see if we do that, um, you could probably connect. Um, so they probably went up Georgia to through Kentucky to Tennessee, or Illinois and Tennessee. Are they're not that close together, are they? I would imagine they would be though, because Illinois dips. Illinois dips. It's not like it's Chicago, but some of it is kind of low, almost almost below the Mason Dixon line, if I can remember. I don't know if you have a map right there, Mr. Scott, but yeah, that would.
Yes, I pulled up a map. Uh, it was actually the Trail of Tears. It covered 5,045 miles. Um, yeah, and it was the 9 states
Mhm,
that it included: Alabama, Arkansas, Georgia, Illinois, Kentucky, Missouri, North Carolina, Oklahoma, and Tennessee. They were
mhm.
all of the all
Mm.
of the states that was covered. I don't know if you would like to see it. I can share my screen if you want to see this map.
Well,
Let me
I-
make you the co-host and you can share. Hold on.
Okay.
okay, great. So they probably, when they left Florida, they probably went straight to Georgia and then through North Carolina. So, so it wasn't like a straight shot straight across because they were picking up people.
Yeah, they had it looked like they had different routes. Um
Mhm.
yeah, with it.
It was kind of zigzag because they were picking up people.
Okay.
Actually, I read just a couple of nights ago that the Seminoles were never caught. They stayed. They I don't know. They fought or something, and they stayed in Florida. The Seminole tribe. So,
Can you see my screen?
yeah, I can see it. I can see it.
Yeah, so this is I'm actually in my car. But this is the map. So as you can see where it says, the Trail of Tears, and then it has the nine states, and
Hmm.
then it tells you, the
The
major
towns.
travel areas, right? And then that was the amount of miles that it was traveled. But as you can see, um, it looked like there was different routes that
Yeah,
they took.
right.
Um,
Because they were picking up. Because it's only like a 1,500 miles trip, and
right,
if you go went straight across, it's a little over 1,500 miles. And but they took 5,000 miles, which meant that they went. They were moving. Well, I forgot. Florida's a 1,600 mile trip. It's only about 1,500 from where you are. But yeah, because they were zigzagging. I mean, they were zigzagging across. Um, and no wonder they hit so much cold weather. I was reading how they were so cold. That's why a lot of them died. It was so cold. So
right.
yeah, and so actually landed in Tulsa. Or like, what was the town that they hit in Arkansas?
Um,
I
what
can
was it?
get those states down.
Uh,
Can you give me all the towns that they hit so we'll
yeah, it's
back?
right here. So you got Alabama.
No, no,
Uh,
not the towns, and like the town in Alabama.
um,
Does it give that?
let's see. Alabama. It looked like it was a couple places. So you
Okay,
have
Payne, Fort
um,
Payne
yeah, Fort Payne. You have what's this? Guntersville.
in Alabama. Okay,
Yeah, and then also even it looked like Huntsville.
okay.
Yeah, Huntsville, Alabama, and then also you got Sheffield.
Yeah, Sheffield. Yeah.
Right. So they're the ones that they hit in Alabama.
Okay, now let's go up to Fort. Let's go up to Illinois. I mean, what is this? Oh, Tennessee. How many? What were the towns in Tennessee?
In Tennessee,
Calhoun. Is that in Tennessee? Yeah,
I'm not.
not
Yeah,
Calhoun, Blythe Ferry, and Calhoun and Charleston. Is it no? Is Charleston in Alabama, or is that in?
it looked like it's on the line.
And,
I'm not for sure.
what's on the Alabama? What's the state where the
Under Alabama?
yeah Fort Newman, and what state is that? That's Georgia. Is that Georgia?
Yeah, this is Georgia. Yeah, that's in the Georgia area. If you look at the color, I guess it's telling you to
Hmm.
maybe, well, not really, because this is over in Alabama. So I guess that's the routes. That's the route numbers with
Okay.
with the different colors. Yeah. So if you look at the plot as far as, yeah, this is Tennessee here. Yeah. So these are in Tennessee. So the Calhoun, and then the Charleston, and then like you say, the Blythe Ferry.
And where's Rome? What? That's in Georgia.
Rome. Yeah, Rome is in Georgia.
Okay. All right. Oh yeah, we're making a lot of progress here. So we'll be able to give this to the group when they first meet. Now, where's Fort Lindsay? That looks like Ohio or something.
Fort Lindsay.
Up to the right of below.
Oh, that's North Carolina.
Oh, that's North Carolina. Fort Lindsay is North Carolina.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Fort Lindsay. Okay. Anything else in North Carolina?
Uh,
Because we're not going to hit all these towns, but whatever ones.
yeah, I think Charleston is North Carolina, I believe, and
Yeah, they
Calhoun.
maybe. Yeah, maybe
Yeah, I don't think
we'll.
they Tennessee because they look like they right on the line.
Okay, yeah, there's another. Now I know there's a Charleston, South Carolina, isn't it, Dr. Little? But this isn't another state. So South Carolina is over here, and Charleston is. Oh, wait a minute, where was Blythe Ferry? Uh, in Calhoun. Okay, that looks like Tennessee. Okay. Got a couple more to go then. Good.
Yeah, alrighty.
Get started. So what's in, go ahead, Dr. Little. So what's in Detroit or Illinois? What state is that? I mean, what city is the town is that in Illinois?
Uh, Illinois is up here. So you have, I guess it's Ann, and then that's the Trail of Tears State Park.
Okay. Oh, that'd be great. Is that south?
Said again.
Is that the southern part of the state?
Of Illinois, yes, ma'am, because this
Okay,
is
good.
Illinois, right? This is the southern part.
Okay, that would be a
So,
great place to visit. Yeah, Trail of Tears State Park. Yeah, great place to visit. Okay, should get some information from there. All right. So we've done Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, Illinois, North Carolina. Okay, so we've done 4, and it was 9. It was 9 of them, right? So we got 5 more.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, but we won't worry about. So it'll be 4 because we won't worry about Oklahoma. What about Okay, so after they would leave, what comes before Arkansas? I've lost my I've lost my.
Alabama.
They went from Alabama to Arkansas. There's no state between those two.
No, I was saying that's what I was just reading it in alphabetical order. No, that was the on from the list.
Oh, I see. Alabama. Okay,
You
so they
saying
go ahead. They ducked Mississippi and just went up. Okay.
um it looked like from Alabama, uh
Hmm.
based off of this route,
Hmm.
they took Alabama, they went up, I guess like the Tennessee, Ohio River, the Mississippi River, and then they came around. Like so this was their route that they went. Like
Looked like they went up a river or something.
yeah,
Like a river. Hmm.
it wasn't just straight
Wow.
across.
Wow. Okay, we're gonna try to go as straight across as we can because we don't want it to be a a long trip for people. We want it to at least be able to like maybe spend one night and 2 days of travel and one night.
You're right.
So one night staying somewhere, maybe somewhere in around the park, the park, the Trail of Tears Park, or either somewhere in Tennessee, because I know that's a halfway mark. Okay, well,
Alrighty.
I think we have a lot to start with. Okay, so anybody want to add to what we have? What else we need to do for this? For this, we're planning an outline for the first meeting of the people who the committees. We're planning the committees and subcommittees for the Trail of Tears too. So far, I have the Red, Black, and Green book. Those who will be compiler editors, people who will put that together. Um, the historical landmarks. That would be of course, the Trail of Tears Park, and what other historical landmarks are in each state. Um, we may not visit those landmarks, but at least the people need to know that this is the state where such and such a thing happened or whatever. Um, and the pickup point was here, which we may or may not go to. It just has to be. Well, I guess we need somebody who's going to plan the route. What would you call that? A not an engineer, a conductor maybe. The conductor of the trail who will help to plan the route, and then the transportation. I guess transportation would have subcommittees, and the subcommittees would be, help me out with this, would be the travelers, those who are actually going to be travelers, like Are you coming by bus, by car, motorcycle? What, we need to know that. Uh, and the transportation will also be it just the conductor of the trail, the trail itself, like just like what you've done, Mr. Scott, just laid out the towns that are there, and then finding out the people in that the Black Wall Street members who live in these states. What what can you contribute to this? What can you do? Can we meet you? Can you get people to jump on the trail? Can you, oh yeah, publicity committee. We need a publicity committee to put this out. So that's seven different committees. So the key stops, the conductor would, I guess, be a part of the key stops that we would be hitting, and the genealogy. Um, I guess the Red, Black, and Green book would have a section that would just deal with the towns that were actually hit, whether we visit them or not. I think that would be extremely important. So, is there any other thing that you can and we'd have to constantly be on top of GPS, because a lot of times there are roadblocks and work sites and all that stuff. We may be hitting a town where like in Texas, or like I-95, where people are getting off from work by the time we get to that area. So we don't want to be sitting up in traffic for 2 hours. We could be doing something else. So so I don't know what that would be called, um, but that would be a part of I guess, of the transportation committee, a subcommittee in the transportation committee. The route, the specific route that we will, the planned route, and also an alternative route all along the way, just in case we hit something that we have to go around. So we'll need a planned route, an alternative route, and the original route. So we'll need, all three of those. So they would be subcommittees of, I guess, the key stops committee. Okay. So again, I'll just read what we had before we leave. So we're planning to have people to work on the Red, Black, and Green book. A subcommittee for that. I mean, compilers and editors and editor. Um, the landmarks that are in each state, uh, and the landmarks as far as the Trail of Tears is concerned. So we'd have at least two subcommittees under that. um, the transportation, and that is the today's travelers, um, the original, some history about the original travelers, another subcommittee, and then the next one would be the key stops, the original stops, the planned stops, and alternative stops, and each state should be able to, a lot of times, like Dr. Little, you know your way around Texas, and Mr. Scott, you know your way around. Like if I-95 is down, what other route are you going to take? We need that alternative site. So we need people who actually live in that state to help us out with an alternative site. I mean, alternative route. And then the genealogy of the Trail of Tears too, exactly, were the indigenous people who picked up there, or they're mostly blacks who were picked up at this particular site. Is there a site that had a serious problem, or a particular state where a lot of people died because it was so cold? Um, we need that genealogy as much as we can get. And then there are some people who may even know their history about their families that were involved in this, on this particular trail. And then we'll need the conductor who's actually going to run the trail. Uh, we need it to be publicized. Um, uh, and I think that's it. We have 6 or 7 different committees already planned. So we can start with this. Anybody who wants to add to it or jump on any of these committees the next time that we meet, that would be great. So I will try to do due diligence in the next time and have some of these people in Florida, Dr. Dieterville, Pastor Dieterville in Florida, and some of the other people, Dr. Guyton, on for hopefully for next Sunday, God willing, at 4:00. So I thank you for your time. And Brother Scott, do you want to close us out with a prayer, or you?
Sure. Heavenly Father, thank you for allowing us to have a productive meeting. Cover us as we go to and from our point of destination to where we're going to arrive to, and just allow us to continue to do your will. And all the blessings we pray. Amen.
Amen. Well, thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for saving the day, Dr. Little. And I will look forward to seeing with you the meeting, the meeting on Monday is at 4 as well, right, Dr. Little?
Yes, it's 4 Eastern. Yes.
So we'll look forward to meeting again on Monday that's the what do you call it, the CR24 mode?
The CRM 24-25 call.
Okay.
I just call it Dr. Carter's call.
Okay, yeah, and that's when Mr. Daly usually comes on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. So we'll be meeting then at that, God willing, on Monday.
And that's actually 3:00 Central Standard Time.
Oh, okay.
Dr. Carter's call is 3 Central Time.
Okay, right. Okay, so it'll be 4 on the East Coast.
Eastern, yeah.
Okay, so Mr. Scott, if you will remind me, then we can, I'll be sure to get that number to you, God willing, before before 3:00 Eastern time, so you'll be ready, know what's going on. Okay, well, thank you so much, everyone, for sharing. And I'm sorry we missed our new person, but we'll make sure that he gets on Monday.
All right.
Yeah, that's tomorrow.
Raheem.
Appreciate your help. Okay, take care. So.